I am personally a believer that every single action that you take has an effect. Stupid monkey brain can be like, hey, yeah, I can pick this up, remove this stupid thing from there, and I can move it over there. There's an action, and then there's the effect. Consciously making the decision to move my R9 out of the garage right now, start it up. There we go. Oh boy. Do you guys remember when I went to North Carolina and I changed the oil on the V4, and all of a sudden this random kid came up and like started talking to me and helping me with the oil change? I mean, I don't know how well you can see it on the phone camera, but it was like a 20-minute segment of this 40-minute video I posted a few months ago. No, I think he asked me when I had the camera turned off, because I had the camera turned off for like half of the time that he was helping me. I wasn't clip farming him that hard, I promise. But he asked me, he was like, how do I afford these bikes? Like, what do I do? And I was like, oh, I do social media. I have a YouTube and TikTok and all of that. And he's like, what? That's so cool. What's your page? And this is where it lost me, bro. Yeah, as you can see, these two videos, like this is the one where he helped me, and then this is the one that he saw. As you can see, these two videos are very different. This is the one that I uploaded after I had this conversation with him, and like he's in this one. This is the video that was on my page when this kid's asking me, go, what's your page? I want to follow you. This one, that's the thumbnail. I never changed it. That's the thumbnail. How riding motorcycles keeps you shredded, bro. 7 out of 10 on that one. 7 out of 10 on that one. I'm sure glad I made that video. It put it so heavily in perspective to me. I mean, he was handing me tools. It's not like he was doing it for me, bro. I'm not saying some 10-year-old was helping me, like, straight up doing the oil change for me, but it was such a cool moment, bro. I felt like my dad for a little bit, you know? I felt like my younger self, my little brother. I have a little brother in real life. It was supposed to be, like, such a healing moment, you know what I mean? I'm sure, I don't know if he still watches my videos. What's up, dude? That was such a cool moment, bro. That genuinely stuck with me for months. And will probably stick with me for a long period of time. I don't know why, but I feel an immense guilt that's the video that he had to see. That was his I felt so ashamed, bro. I couldn't just like not show him because that would be like rude. Like, it's funny how we convince ourselves that like we're not doing certain things to be a certain way, to be looked at a certain way. I mean, there is a talking point to be had there. Like, motorcycles, they do in a way kind of keep you distracted from like eating and keeps you shredded in some respects. But the way that I went about filming it was basically like a 15-minute long thirst trap. If I'm being honest with myself here for a minute. Ugh. I'm having a good impact and 10 other lies I tell myself. I used to like coming to this spot, and I still kind of do. This is like a really nice area. I used to film some TikToks here, actually. Maybe the wall looks familiar to people who've been watching me for a while. I debated taking that video down, man. I sat on it for a while, but I think it's honestly important now that, given certain context, I hope you guys understand now, I think it's important to leave that there. When that kid approached me and helped me with my oil change on my V4, there were two different paths that could have went. And what kills me, and something that I've not talked about because I've been scared to talk about it. So while I was in North Carolina, I was staying with a motorcycle content creator. His name was Dancing Moto. He's a young kid. He's like 18, 19, I forget. Very young. And I'm saying this is 23. Like, to me, that's my little brother's age, bro. Like, you're young. I'm not trying to sound like uncle here. Like, unk. Like, I don't know. But to me, that's a young kid. That's a young boy. And let me just be clear. I think that he's a nice kid. I genuinely think Dancing Moto is a nice kid. But he's reached out to me a few times since that trip, and I haven't had the heart to respond. Because after a few, like, it was like 2 weeks or something. Or like maybe it was a month, I don't know, regardless. After we hung out, like, I come home, I'm following him for a little bit. The dude makes an I hate that that's coming out of my mouth, bro. This young kid, and it shouldn't shock me. It shouldn't. But it shouldn't bother me at all. Like, let's be real here, but it does. And I've been thinking about it for months. So, like, why does this bother me? Like, why did that stick with me for so much? I've hung out with people who do that stuff for a living, and they love that stuff. And it never bothered me. Like, CJ Clark, dude. I'd done videos with him. I'm still friends with him. I plan on hanging out with CJ again. But why does it bother me that this Dancing Moto kid, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do in life. You gotta get your bag. So, like, why does that bother me? Okay, well, from my outside perspective looking at it, now, again, granted, you don't know everything about a person, but from my conversations that I had with him while I was there, I saw a kid who all he had at the time was a Honda Grom. And here I come showing up with a Ducati V4 in the back of my bed of my truck that I paid for with social media. And I roll my V4 out and I'm out riding around. We tried riding together, but the problem is he was on a Honda Grom, which made like 10 horsepower, and I'm on a 200 horsepower piss missile. Of course it's gonna put him down. And the entire time, what this kid is talking about is he wants an S1000. He wants to get an S1K, which I get, like, that's the bike that every kid wants. It's the BMW. I've talked about that in other videos. Everyone wants the BMW. I'm not criticizing his dream bike, but my point is he had a bike that he didn't want and wanted a bigger bike. And so lo and behold, it's not a surprise that he made that type of page after I left. That bothers me. I see a kid who's not doing that. Like, I think that there are absolutely people out there who do that stuff for the love of the game. Bro, they are just gooners through and through. They love that stuff. CJ is one of them. CJ tells me, he's like, as soon as he turned 18, he couldn't wait to make one. That was his dream job, bro, and he's living it. You know why he's so successful with it? Because he loves it. I'm doing what I love. I love motorcycles. I'll be riding these things whether if I did social media or not. I'm doing what I love, but granted, we're talking about other things. And when I see this kid who I just hung out with this kid talking about how he wants to own an S1K. It's his dream bike. He can't wait to own an S1K. And all of a sudden, he found a way to pay for it that he probably doesn't believe in. And I don't know. That kills me. I don't hate the kid. It's not intended to be hateful or spew hate or anything like that. But I just feel like I'm evidence enough, bro. If you want to have a social media presence to grow your love for bikes, you can do that. It requires a little bit of work and patience, but I feel like I am evidence of that to anybody. I do this without brand deal. I can afford any bike I want. No brand deal. I don't have to sell myself out to some corporate entity. You guys don't see me every YouTube video being like, yo, check out this product. Buy this right now. Buy. Here's my code. Use my link or whatever. I've never done that. But yet I could buy. I have an H2 V4. I have every bike I could have ever wanted in my life. When this came out, I wanted this bike. I got it. I'm not trying to flex. I'm trying to make a point. But what I see with Dancing Moto, what he did is a shortcut. A shortcut he doesn't believe in. That's not his thing. That's not what defines him as a person. And it's a mistake I fear I see too many people in my generation make. You know what I realized is I do have free will. I could just drive to Pennsylvania if I wanted to. I guess there's no point in waffling on it. I mean, if we're going to PA, we should probably go to PA now because it's only getting colder. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll meet some friends or something on the way, and that will be fun. You can't just sit around waffling and waiting for something to change. Is the rate the same for cars and motorcycles? Yeah. Oh, well, this makes this the second bike that I own to successfully cross state lines on its own power without the help of my truck. That's right, little R9, you did it. We made it to Pennsylvania. Why did I do this? I don't know. This wasn't even supposed to be the point of the video. I don't even know what I'm going to title this. I felt so bad and guilty that I posted a stupid video and a kid probably saw that. A kid, bro. Like a 10-year-old kid probably saw that. So I'm just like, yeah, it. Drive to Pennsylvania really quick. It'll be awesome. It'll be super sick. Stupid. Look at this thing. Look how disgusting this thing looks now, bro. I just cleaned it. What a lovely little town this is. I came across this. There is a Super 8 motel here. There is construction, looks like, across the street. And then there's this like purple building. I kind of wanted to look at this. Perked my interest a little bit. Oh, is this what I think it is? Oh no. Jesus. Oh no, Club Escape. It could just be an escape room. We don't want to judge it too much. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this random small little town on the side of the turnpike may not be the coolest, most interesting, or have the most normal, family-friendly of amenities. Oh dear, no, it is not an escape room. Oh no. Oh God, just disgusting building. You can just feel the, I don't want to call it evil, but just the thing radiating off of it. I wish I could convey that better through the camera. I know possibly really can't feel it through the camera lens here, but it just feels dark, bro. Feels like, it's not like a normal abandoned building that you go to and it's just like, oh, well, it's an abandoned building. It's pretty cool. There's some old industry going on there. You know, you feel some old spirits. This just feels like, damn, man, what happened here? Why am I feeling this way right now? I guess some people gotta work, bro. I don't know. There used to be a building right next to the building that I was exploring right here. This was an Irish pub where people would get together and hang out. And this, I can't really tell what this is, but it looks like to be some kind of store. And then it wasn't until more recent years where this club turned into something a little bit more nefarious. And then this building, while still remaining an Irish pub for a little bit, eventually also turned into something before being demolished.
hate the world.
I never quite understood that. I had a friend a couple of years ago that was like, yo, who wants to go to the strip clubs? Who wants to go to the clubs and get messed up? And I'm just like, I never understood that. I thought maybe with age, like that feeling would creep up on you, just like the weaknesses of man. You know what I'm talking about? There's certain things that you just can't control about yourself, but like that's just one thing I've never had to confront, bro. Like there's never been an urge in my body to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go to a club. I mean, maybe I'm still too young yet. Maybe 23 is this like awkward period where I don't feel like I'm super young, but I also don't feel like I'm like unk status yet. I don't know. I just feel I would rather ride. I would rather just hop on my bike and, just go do what I'm doing right now. Go adventure. Not do something like that. That's a little strange, a little odd, in my opinion. Granted, that one's closed down, but the feeling is still there. Do you guys like what I did with the tail tighter, by the way? I made a short form video talking about it. I didn't really make this a long form, my bad. But I got tired of looking at the giant thing hanging off the back of the bike, and so I literally just unbolted it, put everything back together, I put some duct tape, and then I went and bought some zip ties, just zip tied it to the passenger pegs, and bam, $5 fender eliminator. I thought that thing was dope, mainly because the cheapest fender eliminator I found for the R9 was like $200, and it didn't even look that good. So I was just like, this bike just came out, so you just kind of, sometimes you have to MacGyver your own thing. I'm a little curious about this area. I wasn't planning on riding around wherever I was going to go because the sun is setting very quickly, and I can already feel the temperature dropping, and I did not bring an extra layer, so I don't think this is a good idea, but I didn't think coming here was a good idea either. So what's the worst that could happen? Jesus. Well, I was exploring some of the back roads back here. Dude, PA is so beautiful. If the weather didn't suck worse here than Ohio, I would move here so fast. But look at that. It's just a random, they have mountains here for no reason. That's not even a mountain, that's more of a hill, but they have mountains here that they just have. It's so comical to me, the architecture and like the city planning in Pennsylvania, just because they didn't care at all. There was no planning. When I went to California, it's like, oh, they put some thought into some of the buildings that they build because they're located like right on a fault line. I'm talking about Southern California. They're like located right on the San Andreas Fault, so they have to be really careful with how they build. They don't have basements because I guess there's some regulation against having basements there. It's really hard to get one, and it's really hard to build. They also have really rocky and sandy like hills and mountains. Those are difficult to build on. Pennsylvania, here they have a lot of history of like coal mining and industry and steel. So this is a place that used to be like California of my time is like Pennsylvania. Like Pennsylvania was the hot place to be. Jesus, what is going on here? They just have these random gravel roads here, dude. This is crazy. Ohio is very similar in the same way. It's just like Ohio in the modern day is not as, I hate to say abandoned, but like there is, like my partner Eve is from Pennsylvania. They tell me there are abandoned places everywhere. I'm not just saying this as someone who's just like randomly comes to Pennsylvania sometimes and observed a few places. Like coming from Pennsylvania residents I've talked to, it's like there's a lot of abandoned places. It used to be the hot spot to be 100 years ago. It shouldn't make me that happy, but it kind of is it's cheering me up a little bit. Just like, I don't know, going on a random adventure on a night that I probably shouldn't be doing it because it's a little cold, but it'll probably be fine. I might regret it in like an hour when I'm freezing my butt off on the way home, but like right now I'm kind of chilling with this. Maybe call it overly sensitive, but seeing the closed down strip club low-key kind of bothers me. I was just thinking about it. I'm on my way back here as the sun sets. I'm driving directly into the sun. It's fantastic. Men are a particularly really disgusting thing. It bothers me, man, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. I wasn't gonna tell this story, but I'm going to. Man, I probably shouldn't tell this story. But oh man, it's integral to the emotion I've been feeling, the guilt. Okay, so you guys know I mentioned like I talk about things in the past and I tell little stories sometimes. Well, okay, I had an ex. We had gotten back together, and it was right when we got back together, she was telling me that while we had that little period in which we weren't together, long story short, basically, I guess her friend had a boy over or something, and that boy ended up like kissing her in her sleep. Hearing that story kind of made me mad. I mean, this is months ago. I heard this story many months ago. I don't even know if it happened. But just the emotion of hearing that, like hearing a dude. I wasn't even with the girl. bro, I wasn't even with the girl at the time when I heard this story. But like, it could have been a random girl telling me this story. Could have been anybody. But just hearing that, bro, like, oh man, that just makes me feel a little gross. It makes me feel really guilty. It makes me feel guilty that like I wasn't there to prevent it. It makes me guilty that like it happened, that stuff like that happens to someone I know. And it makes me guilty because I look around at the young men, like my generation and the generation coming up, and I see a generation of young men that love temptation. They love following models and on websites I probably can't mention here. They love substances. They love alcohol. And perhaps this is the first time in my life where I'm not allowing myself to have any level of crutch with the emotion and things I've been thinking about and feeling these past couple of weeks. Maybe it's because, not weeks, days really, ever since Eve left. Maybe that's why I'm fucking losing it. I'm forcing myself to kind of think through these problems and think through it rather than run and hide from it. It just feels like an endless possibility, and the fact that I had a chance, or possibly a very real possibility, of adding to the problem through in which the content I was making. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I don't know if that's a weird mental connection to make, but I feel guilty. Come on, baby. Let's get it. Lean off the bike. Don't forget the track day. God, this bike is so deadly silent. I wish this bike had an exhaust, bro. I ordered the exhaust. It's like, it still hasn't come in. I don't know what she said. She said something. Whatever. I don't know what to call that fear. I don't know if it's like a fear of becoming part of the bigger problem, or if it's like a fear of just getting old and fear of getting stupid. I don't know what it is. I'm afraid of being a bad teacher, maybe because I make videos and I get comments of people from all ages, male and female, and it's just a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure, all right? Maybe that's just what it is. Dear God. I imagine it's probably a good thing to be feeling. Like, it's not probably good to just waltz through life and just think that everything is fine, that everything that you do doesn't have an impact in some way or some capacity on other people. It also occurred to me I haven't had a bite to eat today. At all. It has been hours since I last ate something. It has been 10 hours since I last ate something, bro. I'm probably just hungry. Oh, what's up? Well, biker man. Should I make friends? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. He looks like he's just chilling. I think the bugs might have been a little ridiculous on here as well. Okay, I wasn't necessarily hangry, but I do feel a little bit better. Time just flew by, alright? I didn't realize how hungry I was. I blinked and all of a sudden I was in Pennsylvania. I don't know. My brain is frustratingly difficult sometimes. Certainly more active in the summer months. I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna drive a PA. That's a good idea. That was a fantastic idea. But in an odd way, it worked. Like, I think I just need to travel more. You know, my mom's been telling me I need to see the good in people more. She tells me stay positive. She tells me to see the good in people. See the good in people. Not necessarily focusing on the bad things, but trying to actively look for the good things. I've lived in Cleveland my entire life. I was born just outside of the municipality, and up until I was around 8 or 9, I was raised in Cleveland. And my parents eventually moved us to a different city, but I don't hate living here. But sometimes I feel like I'm really forcing it. Oh, we put almost 300 miles on my bike today? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, but hey, we got the R9 over 1,000 miles, so that's a good day. Good job, little bike. You're doing good. I'm a little sleepy. I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna end it here. And so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye-bye.